very much for having me in your astonishing house. It's so beautiful, and it must be a lovely place to sing in.
It is, and in fact, every time I was rehearsing and practicing, I needed to look over the garden.
Yeah.
So I would have some kind of inspiration of the universe.
Oh, lovely. Amazing. I think of all the interviews I've done, this is the nicest setting so far.
Oh,
it's
thank you.
Absolutely stunning. Yeah. I was about to say, for people who don't know, but anybody who's interested in watching this video will know who you are, because you've had rather a good career.
If not, just look at Google.
Yeah. Nelly Miricioiu, is that the correct spelling?
Nelly Miricioiu.
Romanian born.
Yeah.
Soprano. But you've been in the UK for a long time, is that right?
About 40 years.
Okay, right. So even when you were first building your career, you were based here?
Not really, no.
No.
Career started back in Romania when I was about 26. But started with operetta and sort of other operas. And then, of course, the situation was very tragic for me because of the Securitate that was on my footsteps, because I was winning competitions. And as you go for a competition abroad, all the Securitate have to make an impression on you,
right?
To be kind.
Okay.
And of course, then they were persecuting me, and a lot of things that went terribly wrong in that time of the communism. And it's a bit like a horror movie.
Gosh.
I remember putting this online once, and somebody said, "No, we don't believe that. Only in Tosca this happens." But
where do they think these stories
come
from?
I know. I mean, it's just nonsense. Yeah. But the thing is, I didn't want to immigrate. It happened.
Right.
So me being an always complicated, I took the decision when I was in Philippines. And then I came to England, and in here I applied for political asylum.
I see.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So I had a career before. Well, I was a prodigy. Since I was 5, I was on stage, and I was always on stage. Even the competition started at 22, which was, I was the youngest on the market at the time.
Okay.
And won them all.
Right.
So if I was to say career, I've always been there. But officially, it was since I was 26, so now I'm 73. You do the calculations.
Okay. Okay. I should probably explain that this is the second time we've met. We met very, very briefly in France.
First time I had the wonderful joy to see you singing.
Oh, well, thank you.
I loved the voice, because it was a last-minute call, and of course I went, "Oh, who's going to be there? Oh my God, oh my God." And then you open up your mouth, and it was absolutely beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Not
very
just
much.
Beautiful, intelligent as well.
Oh, well, thank you.
Because singers, beautiful singing, yeah, okay, I believe in that, but I'm more impressed when it's intelligent.
Oh, well, thanks. I just thought, it's funny, you must have had this experience, when you step into something at such short notice, and you haven't done it. I think I hadn't sung The Creation in about 10 years, so I was revising it on the flight over. And the funny thing is I realised you spend so many, hundreds of hours learning these things, that once you open the score, it just comes flooding back. But even so, I thought, it's got to be interesting. I cannot be copy bound because this is short notice.
That's absolutely right.
It kind of made me work harder.
Yeah.
And I got to the end of it and was like,
that's true.
thank the Lord that so, but I'm sure you've had
Well, the stepping, I always found it didn't happen very often, but I always found it very exciting. And also for the people.
Yes.
Because, somebody new, oh wow, and then they sharpen their awareness.
Yeah. There's kind of an extra energy in
it
the room,
is.
isn't there?
It is.
Yeah. So when, before that concert, I had the chance to come and see a couple of your masterclasses.
Did you?
Yes, I sat
that's
there
a nice surprise.
and I paid attention.
Where did you go? Which one was it?
Well, it was just on the day. It was after the rehearsal.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah, and I found it really, really interesting, because I'd never seen somebody being so insistent on the details in the score. So,
I'm a bit of a nuisance on that.
But I thought it was amazing, because it absolutely transformed the way the people sang the music. And it seems like such a basic thing to say, but this is all in the score. So presumably the composer meant it to be paid attention to. So I wanted to ask you, was that something you were taught from the very beginning? Something you had from the beginning just on yourself, by like kind of on in your own intuition? Or was it something you learned as you went through your career?
It's both. Training as well, because I was trained as a pianist.
I see.
Because Mama went and asked when is the best time to start singing, and they were told only 18 years old, which I still believe at 18 you should start singing, because you are physically and hormonally a little bit more complete. And the question was, what do I do until then?
Right.
So Mama was told to do an instrument, which piano was recommended, and languages, which was just French in those days. And growing as a pianist in communist system, it meant that I imagine people heard about the Russian school. It's very similar.
Right.
When I was playing the piano and the door opened and I turned my head, she slammed the lead of the piano right on my hands. She said, "You're not focused."
Oh my word.
And focused I was after that. So yeah, discipline was the number one communistic way of doing it. We will go to school, for example, in the morning, and half an hour before lessons we'll be doing gymnastics in the garden. Rain, snow, cold, it didn't matter. It's a very communist system.
I sometimes think I'm too strict with my daughter about piano practice, but that's extreme.
Well, do you know what the problem is, Julian? I would have loved to educate my husband. My husband too needs no problem. But my son, to be more like I was brought up, because I benefited a lot from it. But what you cannot do is, because the environment, it's not at all helping you. So if you start disciplining your child in a manner that you believe is healthy for his future life, then it becomes like persecution, because from the outside there's so much freedom in the society. And that's one of the things that I believe it's very wrong in capitalism, that this freedom comes too soon, when you don't really know what it means,
right?
And what to do with it. I mean, just to be free and no responsibilities at all. But it doesn't sound right to me, but that's a different question altogether. So my choice, or our choice, we put Danielle in boarding school.
Okay.
Because I thought this is how I can have the child very close to what I was used to have, for which I'm always grateful. The education and the medical assistance in communism was phenomenal.
Okay.
Nothing to complain about that. It's life itself that was miserable and poor, and we all ate from the same plate, so to speak, metaphorically. And of course the scrutiny that you had to go through all the time. There was no one you could trust. No one. And yes, in some ways, even children sometimes were saying things about their parents, but not because they wanted to tell off about the parents. It was because they were lured into talking about it, and they didn't realize there was so much innocence. They wouldn't know
any better, kids, would they?
Not at all. So yeah, this this is how my career started.
Right. So you paid attention to the details, because that's just.
So that's the one that comes from, because in the piano, but I was also myself. I was saying it's both, because since I was a kid, I was writing poetries, I was writing music, I was dreaming and philosophizing about the sky and the universe, and then later on I was reading a lot of philosophers, and I was passionate about it, together with fairy tales, don't get me wrong. I was not one of those, but I loved the depth of thinking. I loved the colors of thinking. And one of the things that when I was 18, we had a competition in literature, and I won first prize.
Okay.
Only because I was very hooked into details. And for me, every color has multiple colors. Remember talking about paintings, and somebody was saying in the color black we have 90 nuances. And I thought, wow, I just have to find them.
Yeah.
So on the basis of that, also our music, Romanian music, it's very detailed, it's very shadowy,
Okay.
in which we understand exactly what melancholy is and what joy is. It's never going all the way. It's going almost all the way, and you go, oh wait, I just saw something. And then from there, the diversity becomes something more complete, and it's never finished.
Okay.
So when I look at when you looked at the score, you see lots of meanings and colors. Of course, it helps that I speak the languages, and it's not only those colors that they come in. Then how do you combine the words? How do you link them in a manner that becomes organic to the public? And the other thing, I will kind of conclude about that, is the fact that I'm never pleased with what I can give, even on this moment. I want the next moment to give me something else.
Right.
And I was also very unhappy regarding never pleased with my voice.
Okay.
It was never good enough. It was never beautiful enough. It was never enough.
Okay.
So I was all the time running. I'm still running, still vocalizing every
I know,
day.
it was quite hard to get this interview with you. You seem very busy.
I know, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
Because I work with my students, and you've seen it, exactly. And when I have private students, we go even more. I remember a friend of mine who said to me, okay, coming to the lesson today, could you possibly do with me more than 5 bars?
Okay.
Yeah, and you've seen it. I hear something and I'm going, stop! But that is because I hear in the sound of that personality something that I could take it out.
Right.
And that fascinates me.
Okay.
Because they don't know it themselves.
Yeah. I think it makes somebody's performance much more interesting when they have this approach.
I hope so.
I think. But from the performer's point of view, do you find that helped your voice technically reach new milestones? Because I sometimes get the impression that people focus a lot on technique, as they should, but then sometimes that focus takes them away from the various colours they can find in the music.
That's why when somebody comes new to me, I go, you're going to have from me knowledge, experience, and instinct. Without those 3, I don't think you can create an artist.
Right.
And when I'm talking about, I also don't just plainly teach. Most of my artists rely on my advice or my opinion, if you want. We have a friend here, of how to dress, because I keep on saying to them, I say, if you're singing like a prayer, why do you do so many gestures?
Right.
What's the use for it?
Yeah.
It doesn't use technically, it doesn't use expression. So I do interfere with everything I see on them as a map.
Right.
You need to be a complete artist. Hey, she wants to do the computer, aren't you?
You can't. Yeah.
No. So, and it's permanently new. Did it help me to be a better artist? Because I've started teaching quite long ago, about 20 years. It's kind of coming more publicly now because I'm more at the level where publicity happens.
Right.
I started from the bottom.
I see.
Started from very, very small, from colleges, and I learned in that process. Because of course I came as a diva. Huh? You talking to me? You dare to say that? And of course it took me a long time it's not to understand humility. It's not about humility. It's about knowing that the person in front of you wants to get better but doesn't know. And it may have all sorts of temptations to either look at you as an enemy or blame you for something. Or I had to learn how to deal with those issues without being arrogant or saying I am who I am and you do what I'm telling you. Even in my education for Daniel, for our son, I never said do this because I say so. Never done that. Mainly because I was brought up into that. I was brought up into you have to do it.
Right.
Either this or nothing.
So you wanted to avoid.
So I didn't want to repeat that. It's painful, it's hurtful. It took me a long time to heal, and I must say, if it wasn't for the Britishness, the English that are very calm and very forgiving, I don't think I would have learned in another society.
Really?
To calm down.
That's very interesting.
I was very edgy and very bitey.
Okay.
And it took me a long time to try to change that. Not because I'm not naturally edgy or bitey. That's how I was trained.
I guess you must have had to have been on your guard the whole time.
All the time.
Had to put up your own kind of protective barriers.
Exactly. So when an English colleague or friend would say, "That's okay," I'll go,
you weren't expecting it.
You really mean that? So yeah, it's a lifetime, and I feel like I lived 3 lives in that way because I went through so many political changes, even in this country. I came 40 years ago, so you changed a lot in here, and I find the society in the whole world a little bit confused.
Okay, fair enough. It sounds like mentoring is quite important.
From my point of view, yes.
To you.
From my point of view.
So I have briefly met on 1 or 2 occasions Miranda, who I believe.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, who just won the junior farrier competition.
I know.
And hearing you talk about that, I can kind of see how Miranda operates.
Was mentored. Yeah.
She's very dedicated to this path, very detailed in the work that she does. I've never actually seen her work, but hearing her talk about it.
You know, she came to me when she was 15.
Yeah. She told me. She seems like a very, very dedicated individual.
She is, and she's very gifted.
Yes, I've only heard her sing once, and that was on a video that Ishani sent me.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's
yes, and she knows, and I can talk to her. She's uncomplicated. Most of my singers are I made them uncomplicated.
Right.
Also because they understand there is a freedom about me. There are things that I want exactly as they are for a little while, not long. But by and large, I ask, how do you feel? What do you think? Or next time they come to me, any confusions, any questions? I'm not, because I work with them as a pedagogue, but also as a performer.
So you're wanting a lot of creative input from them as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right. So you mentioned how when you're teaching and mentoring, you deal with them as a whole person about what they wear, how they come across. So I did a auditions workshop for an opera company beginning of last week, and we were dealing with those sorts of things. So I'm always asking people's advice about what they think people should wear in an audition. So what's your opinion on this? Because some people go really smart and glamorous, some people go a bit more casual, and it seems to differ from country to country sometimes. So just give me your opinion.
Well, personally, because that's how I was auditioning, whatever I was singing first, that was my dress. So I don't do it because it suits me, even concerts. I would be learning first the opera to understand what it's all about. Then search the dress that suits that.
I see.
Mood.
Right. So it's all about the role you're singing.
It's all about that.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's not me that wants to show off. I want to be the best representative of what I mean to sing. Because the moment you walk through an audition, I know the way you walk, the way you dress, I know how your performance is.
And you must
most
have
of the
sat on a
time
lot
it's
of
right.
panels.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's most of the time correct. If it doesn't come from within, where you become the identity, you become the character. That reminds me, it was once Barry was fighting with me and we had a big conflict, and Barry went, "Can you come out of Anna Bolena and talk to me as Nelly?"
So
that's my problem. Now when I went into that role, it was a totality beyond measures. Not that I wanted, that's how it happened.
It just happens.
I couldn't, unless I understand and feel in my own being who she is and what she feels through the music and the words and the history. When I remember when I was working on Roberto De Vereux, I was watching Glenda Jackson.
I see. Okay.
In playing the Queen.
Right.
She was for me perfection.
Okay.
Perfection for me.
So you do research outside of what's in the score itself, okay? Because that seems to be another debate between singers. I think the first event that the London Singers Collective did was a panel discussion amongst 4 people about how to build an opera roll, like the process that goes into it. Because I realised that there was nothing on that specific topic at the music colleges. They would expect, and as far as I'm aware, possibly be careful what I say here, as far as I'm aware, there's no actual class on it. They just expect people to pick it up through 4 years of college or so.
I blame a lot the education, particularly for singers. We had our teachers were composers, producers. They were people not pedagogically trained only, but they were artists themselves. So we grew up with these approaches to what is to be an artist, but also because the communism doesn't want to waste their money in education, and their intention was not to have intellectuals. The contrary, they did everything that was harder in order for you to give up.
Oh, really?
So what it meant that if you are in a conservatoire, you had to study like a regular student who studies medicine, studies psychology. So we had all the subjects in the conservatoire that were required for us, that at the end of the conservatoire, we can take up any job.
I see.
And not make the government lose.
Right.
It's amazing. So we were brought up in a much more intellectual way, and of course, for us, everything was to dissect, learn, explore, unless you're not complete.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So of course, what I usually do, yes, some of my artists don't have the time to do it, but then I tell them, this is what happens in such and such book or such and such, and they take my word for it. Okay. So I was fortunate in that respect. But I would want the teachers, because the norm nowadays seems to be 1 hour, if an hour, or a whole week. How can you possibly tutor somebody on 1 hour a week?
Yeah.
I was singing every day. I was doing 6 hours a day on singing and the reading. And if I did Agrippina, for example, I just had to learn about the history of those days to understand the role of this Agrippina, because she's central. She doesn't sing as much as the others, but she's central to the whole thing. So gestures like I was brought up also in here. I had amazing producers like there's a couple. I'll tell you in a minute. Age thing. A British producer, extraordinary, and he was saying, no, we're going to have this kind of shoes because this is the epoch where this crinoline was working. And it's true, because it changes the way you step. Yeah. So I'm always saying even to my artists, rehearse the shoes you want to have when you go to an audition, because when you're going to be on your hill, you're going to find a different balance of the body, and that will disturb your focus.
Right. I see.
It's that kind of detail that for me was important in my career. And of course you learn it from John Copley.
Oh, I see. Right.
Adored him.
Great director.
Adored him. He was one of the great detailed productions. He will say, you have to make your dress speak, Nelly. You can't just walk.
Right.
You know, and so you have to understand it's not the dress that's wearing you wear the dress. That's why I said I used to buy the dress in accordance to the part that I was doing in that particular moment. And I remember when I was doing Roberto De Vereux again in Covent Garden, I was so lucky to find somewhere in Bond Street one of those dresses with the high collars, which was all in beads, and it was fantastic because it gave me exactly that sense of time and who the queen was. And
it is so important. I sometimes feel, well, I'll say first, I completely agree with you that one vocal lesson a week or even two is not enough. Unfortunately, I think the colleges are hamstrung by their finances at the moment, which is a shame. But I also can't help but feel there must be another way. There must be a way to restructure finances, cut some stuff out, put some other stuff in. They're just running the same model all the time. Strikes me as not the most creative way to educate people. Again, people at colleges are going to see this conversation. I don't mean any disrespect. I think you do a great job.
But
I
also think there is a lot of responsibility on the youngs.
Yes.
Develop a little bit of curiosity. Don't rely always on telephone or on video, on AI, the latest of all.
Don't get me started on AI. Oh, it's the bane of my life at the moment. I still think the best way to learn is either to do it with people, learn from other people's experiences. This is why I do these interviews, or just read a good book, a good set of books about a certain period of history. I mean, reading, yes, it takes time. People sometimes can't be bothered, but you can learn.
One of the greatest, the greatest sad situation is that we're losing libraries. Yeah. People don't get that sense of paper. It took me years to finally come to a conclusion to have a computer. Not during my career. I was always carrying my scores with me. But now as teaching, I have to have so many scores. So I finally gave in with having a computer. Even to this day, I go to the computer going...
Well, it's funny, the opposite happens now is kids go up to photos and they try to swipe them.
I know!
I'm really pleased. I don't know why I'm pleased, because it really doesn't matter. I'm really pleased that my own daughter
Or I want to write something on the computer and I go on the piano.
Yes.
It's your habit. But I still prefer paper to, if I want to read and to understand, to feel the word, I still go for a book. Yeah,
I just find if I'm reading something on the computer, which I'm always doing for work, I don't read it as deeply. I'm not concentrating.
It doesn't connect to me.
But with a book, they just suck me in, whether it's fiction or non-fiction, depending on the subject. And I remember hearing a speech given by Tom Allen at the Royal College of Music, and it was a graduation day speech.
That's an intelligent man.
Yes.
Yeah. He was my debut.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was my Sylvia.
Oh.
And we loved each other. We adored each other.
I mean, he's one of my favourite baritones to watch on stage.
Oh, he's amazing.
For all the reasons you've just said. And in this speech, he said, you know what, sometimes us musicians can be quite boring people if we become too focused on just doing music. The most interesting artists are the people who are interested in life in general. Go to art museums, find out about politics, read the newspapers, listen to the radio, read as many books as you can, go and hang out with friends, go try new food, go travelling, and all these things will come together and make add things to your performance. And same with, I remember Bryn Terfel saying that he researched role, I think it was Bryn Terfel, I'm pretty sure it was that, he knows pretty much everything about the role before he starts singing it. That doesn't mean he uses all of it, but it's there as a reference point.
It gives you a sense. It's the same as Bohème, for example. You read the whole book and you go, where is my Bohème? Because it's just a few pages into the whole thing. But then you do get a taste of it into that. And I remember when I was in a master class, and it was this lady who was singing Mimi, and she was singing Mimi like she was a nun, an angel. And I went, Sina, do you know what Mimi was doing? No. And I'm going, she was a prostitute.
Right.
She started to cry.
Okay.
I destroyed her image. The thing is, you have to know that in absolutely everything that we do in life, even that, there is a sense, there is a core, there is an understanding of that human being, even the criminal. When I did Lady Macbeth, I don't treat Lady Macbeth as only the evil thing. She is a human being that was brought into that moment, into surroundings, because the music, it's giving us all those. I mean, when you come in and you sing the first aria, and then the Sonambulism, where she's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And she regrets it. So how can you become just a monster? I mean, even if you look into the religion, the devil was once an angel.
Yes.
So all these little things that I find it fascinating. It's good to know something about it.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I just get lost in reading and researching about just about anything I do. So you mentioned you did Lady Macbeth.
Yeah.
Was that on the heavier side of your
No, the first version.
Oh, I see.
It's the first version, which has a coloratura in the second part, and it was a concert. I would never do it on stage.
Right.
It was not mine. However, if it was the first version, yes.
I see.
Because the first version is written with coloratura, while the second version is the second aria is for a mezzo, and yet the whole opera is not for a heavy soprano.
Is it not?
It's a coloratura. It's a dramatic coloratura.
Okay.
So it's those operas like Lucia, for example. It was not for a Verdi coloratura. It was written for a dramatic coloratura.
I see.
It's just the problem is like I sang Lucia, and then my E flat started to be volatile because my voice was much more. I can still go to the top D now, but E flat was one step too far.
I think I heard you demonstrate either a top C or a top D
Yeah,
in France.
I'm sure it's one of those.
And I was thinking, I don't know the age of Nelly, but that's very impressive.
Thank you. Thank you. I do train because I need to demonstrate the way it needs to be done.
I see.
I couldn't open my mouth, and the day my voice is going to wobble, the day my voice is going to be rugged, the day my voice is going not to do the top note, I'll stop exemplifying.
Well, let's cut to that subject, because after I heard you demonstrate in France and saw you teach, I thought, well, I definitely want to interview you at some point. So I need to research you as a person. And so I listened to as many recordings of you as I could find.
Oh, thank you.
And the weird thing is I listened from earliest recordings to latest recordings, and I thought there's virtually no change at all. I mean, I think the last recording I found of you was a recital at the Wigmore Hall. Was it a farewell recital?
It was a farewell.
And you're floating these high notes, and it sounds very similar to when you were in your 30s and 40s.
Thank you.
How did you manage that? Like, what for you is the basis of a healthy
Not
technique?
Not easy. That was again, I think, need. I had 3 major surgeries on my body.
Okay.
After each one, I had to start again.
Really?
And again. And again.
Okay.
And I could not drop, I will never drop the belief that bel canto and having an understanding of the attack of the sound and how to develop that attack and how to mix the lower larynx space with the high resonance, with the vibrations. For me, the harmonics itself, it's not just in the head. Harmonics, they have to have both sides.
Okay.
All you have to do is to find the balance between one and the other. But that's what bel canto. Is
that what they call chiaroscuro?
Chiaroscuro.
Okay.
That's absolutely right. And then, so what you do, you have to know always the limit to which your voice can do. Like, for example, 2 scenes I had in my life in the vocality where people say, you shouldn't do that, and yet I did, and I'm still fresh. The glottis, they were very, very important, and kind of belting the sound. So what happened? The accents came as because I wanted to be more dramatic, and it's my temperament.
When you say accents, is those are glottals?
It's the glottals, yeah. But you have to, again, you have to know the sound, what it's like, and you have to know how to do it, which I've done it all my life, and it's never, charged me in the wrong way. But what happened, within those surgeries, you lose the head voice.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was all on my abdomen.
Right.
And when you lose that, you have numbness. So you have to find a way that pelvic can function. And as you notice that I'm so detailed, I had to find the exact understanding of the pelvic. And once you have that understanding of the pelvic, how do I use them? Because some people say pull it up, some people say push it out. Bruzon was saying, this is how I do it, Nelly. And he was all out. And I
really? What, Renato Bruzon?
Yeah.
What, possibly my favourite baritone.
Oh, he's beautiful. He's beautiful. Or when I went to Magda Olivero and I said, Master, how do you, oh, I do this, Nelly. So completely the opposite.
Okay.
Completely the opposite.
This is funny, everybody's very sure about what they say.
Absolutely, that's
and
an
yet they
absolute.
do totally different
That
things.
totally. I come in and I'm a bit cleverer and I'm saying they were all right.
Right.
You just have to know how to mix them.
I see.
And when to use them, how to use it. It's not such a thing to say, no, only this way. And that's why I don't quite like this dogma of saying, oh yes, put the voice in the mask. There's nothing to put into anything. It's volatile, it's nothing in there, it's space.
Yeah.
So I was, through the menopause, I lost the sensation for the soft palate.
Okay.
And I thought, oh my God, how am I going to find this one now? Because I was 50. Lots of people give up. And not long ago, I heard about a colleague of mine, I won't make any names, but she made it public and she said, I'm giving up because of the menopause and because of my hearing, which is another subject that we can touch. And so for me, during the menopause, I thought, how am I? Because I was flat, I was permanently flat, and I didn't hear it.
Okay.
Because we singers don't hear it. We feel it through the bone structure, and we feel the amount of vibrations. You're not aware of it. You confuse hearing with what you feel many times. Even more, via your eyes, you confuse feelings. Because your eyes are telling you this is the feeling that you should have. But if I'm completely into that trance, I have no idea what you feel. So then you have to create those things that you need for your character. So yeah, turning back to the menopause, I started to belt for 1 octave.
Okay.
From C to C, I will belt the notes.
So
very gentle.
Middle C to C above.
That's right.
Okay.
And I was redoing my middle voice because I was weak in here, and of course there was no strength to go up. Because the vocal cords are muscles. It's a muscle there. It's very athletic. You need to challenge them. If you just let them exist, like for example, look at the Baroque singers. They won't last past 30, 35. Yeah. Now in the modern school, they're better because they're learning. But in the old days, they just sang with a natural voice, which doesn't really last long. You need to challenge the chords.
There are parts of the voice which I don't want to say manufactured, but they need, it's like a gymnast. You have to train different parts of the voice in different ways. It's if you just, I sang at the beginning of my career with people who were just so natural. The sound would just flow out of them, and I was always quite jealous because I was like,
I know what you mean.
I have to really work.
I
have to really work at what you seem to find so easy.
Yeah.
But then I found later on they also were like, oh, we've just been relying on this sound coming out, and it doesn't happen. So then they had to relearn, and they did a great job, and they still sound great. Yeah. But I remember, this is going to sound awful, almost being pleased that they now had to work at it.
I know what you mean. Yeah, because you say, finally you understand.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, when I came from Romania, I came to England, the first thing I said to my agent, I said, I need a teacher. I need someone who can look after me.
Ah, who did you go to?
Immediately. David Harper.
Now, I vaguely know the name.
Because he left long time, 20 years ago he went to New Zealand. David Harper was the only coach I had in my life. Phenomenal, a genius, an amazing pianist, an amazing musician, sense for the languages, and he's been looking after lots of stars.
Okay.
It's just, you know how people are? They don't talk about it.
Okay.
I do. As you can see, I'm a big talker and I have nothing to hide. And if somebody's done something good for your life, you may as well be grateful and mention. Because I was sending him the card for one of the Christmases, and he said, "No, you're amazing. You're the only one who mentions me." And he was, for me, he was my guru. Okay. And we found together things. He's not much older than me, 5 years older than me. And we were working together in a manner every day, but in a manner that we're discovering together something. And it worked. And even as you see it online, there's concerts with David, it's kind of just one person in music. We didn't even need many rehearsals. If I did a recital, I didn't work in the recital as a pianist, I worked with him as vocally. And then we had 2 run through and off we go. Okay. And then I was very fortunate to find David Garland to experience music at a level that is hard to explain. Okay. And so I was belting from here to there. Gently, very gently. I don't recommend to anybody to belt unless you have somebody who looks after you. Okay. And slowly I managed to get there. And then I started to rebuild from F upwards to the top C. It took a while because they were heavy through the menopause. The only person, and I was reading everywhere to find somebody who can talk about what happens in the vocal cords. We didn't have so much Google in those days, but the only person who talks about it is Christa Ludwig. Really? She's the only one who put it on her biography, and she said, I could feel my vocal cords like made of glass. And that's exactly what it felt like, because there was a friction in there that was so dry. It's, but my career still went on. They were not maybe the best performances. I used musicality, I used intelligence, I used characters, but I can't say that the voice was getting back what I was looking for, but I never gave up. Right. So by the fact that I was permanently climbing back the mountain, and my first aim was exactly what you just said now, to find back my soft notes. That was my aim permanently. And the closer I could get to that, the better. Also, I understood how to do the soft notes. Also, remember, all my life I looked at my vocal cords. So all the way through my career, if I sing the first act in Traviata, which it's so different from the rest of the opera, after the first act, I'll go look at the chords. Have I done any damage? Okay. And in that way, I learned more and more and more by observing, self-educating, and reading, of course, from singers from the past. And we have Victor Cesari, for example, who writes some beautiful books on singing. He was a friend of Gilli. Is that the voice? That's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
I've been looking for that book for ages, and I can never seem to find a copy of it these days.
It's so expensive. It exists.
Yeah. Okay.
When I bought it, it was £70. Now I think it's something like 300, 400.
What? Okay.
I think it's because of me, because I talked about it. But yes, you're right, and it's quite amazing how much the psychology. Sometimes I will see somebody singing and I'll go, right, where was your mind on that particular word? Oh, I didn't really pay attention to that. I can see it on the person.
It's a great thing about music, isn't it? Is that you have to be present. There are so many things in life which kind of take you out of the present moment. But if you're a musician, and I'm sure there are other professions as well, but if you're a musician, you have, especially a singer, putting across a role, you have to be in the moment. If you do it on autopilot, it's really obvious. You can't really get away with it.
It is, but don't you think that we have a lot of autopilot at the moment? And all they do is just a big coloratura or a big top note, and that's it, done. So
yeah, this comes across in auditions. I was talking to somebody who's a director of casting at a very big opera house, and he kindly heard some singers from London Singers Collective, and he was running me through his opinions on them afterwards. And he said in general he thought they were all really, really good, and he was impressed. But the repertoire choice needed to be simpler, because actually what casting or people on panels, they're not actually looking for massively loud noises or vocal fireworks. They're actually, you could sing a very simple Mozart aria, but if you're poised and in the moment, that is really impressive and looks really professional. So I hope that chimes.
That's absolutely right, because I remember David Gowland, who said, you know, in an audition, if a soprano comes and sings Queen of the Night, and another one sings Susanna non viene, no, De Vieni, Mozart, and he says, we'll pick the Susanna.
Really?
Because that didn't make any impression, it's just top notes.
Yeah.
While this one was so discreet, so delicate, so understanding of the recitativo or the word, then I see the potential to work with.
And there's nowhere to hide in an aria like that.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I did mostly Mozart at the beginning of my career, as I think is probably true of a lot of people, Mozart and then kind of Puccini and Rossini. And the Mozart is what I always dreaded in audition for that reason, but it was the ones that I always enjoyed the most on stage. Because the more present you are, the more present the composer forces you to be, the more you enjoy it, the more you get out of it.
I am not a Mozartian singer, and yet when I did Così fan tutte, I did it once in a concert. The harmony, and then of course I was reading on Mozart, and finally I understood that voice for Mozart is just part of the instruments.
Yeah.
You're not there to show off how incredibly you do these top notes and that legato and that. If you don't understand the harmony, and luckily I can still play a bit of the piano, and then what I do with my singers, I'll go and say, okay, just observe this, listen, what's this inspiring you? And then I play the music before, just to feel how do you go into it, and then the change on the key, how extraordinary it is. That needs to have into your being something that understands that harmony, or sometimes people out of tune. For me, the best thing I do is play chords of the music, of that piece, not a vocalist. A vocalist doesn't really, you don't learn it. But in the piece, if you put the chord and you say, okay, listen to this chord and try to tune to it, all of them can do it.
Right.
It's not that somebody has an instinct more than the other. And that is fascinating to me. Then another thing, I noticed that sometimes the composer, the melody for the singer, it's more on the left hand concentration than actually the right hand.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, because the theme is on the right hand, but the harmonics is on the left hand.
Oh yeah, okay.
See, so when I play just the left hand and I keep on saying, just listen only to the left hand, they do it better.
Okay, that's an interesting teaching tool to keep in mind.
It fascinates me, fascinates me. And it's joyful for me, because I teach them beyond voices, beyond singing. But in the end, it's not a question of beautiful voice. It's a question how good you are in those little details.
Yeah.
And then the public instinctively says, how beautiful.
This is good. I wish I could make notes as we went through, although I don't have to, because I can
You
listen
have
to
that.
this back. Just going back to the glottals.
Yeah.
How did that help you keep your voice fresh? Because glottals are often talked about as not being good fit. I personally have found them quite useful, because I still do ensemble singing. I sing in a professional Sunday church choir, and you have to really kind of rein in your voice in that So I mean, I have an averagely large voice. It's not humongous.
It is. It carries a lot.
Oh, what, my voice?
Yours, yeah.
Oh, thank you. It was quite a boomy church though, wasn't it?
No. For me, I don't listen to that.
Oh, okay.
I listen to the squealer, which is I separate it
Right.
from the acoustics, and
I see.
I can do that.
Okay.
Also, because when I was training myself, I covered my ears to understand what the sound like. So I hear it from inside.
I see.
It's not so.
Okay.
It's quite,
Okay. All right.
it's quite a remarkable sound.
That's nice to hear. Thank you. But I have found after singing in a group for a while, one way, and then if I have to then quickly go and practice something I'm doing that's solo repertoire, I find the chords they don't feel like they're coming together properly. So I have found glottals very useful for retraining that. Could you put into words how you found it helpful when you were recovering from surgery? How glottals helped you?
At that time, I didn't go to glottals.
Okay.
I was afraid of it.
Okay.
So you have to have a degree of being in shape with all the muscles, because unless you hold the muscles right, the glottal will be a pushy.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So it's the in fact it's the absence of air.
The glottal is.
That creates a glottal. And of course, then once you've done the glottal, you have to understand to retrieve your explosion of air that comes in there. So it doesn't go, ha, that's a glottal. And yet I allow the chords to stay open.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if I go, ha, you know,
right.
it's again coming to me.
Yeah.
So it's more like inhaling the glottal, then exhaling.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why that's why you need someone who can just say, this is the one.
So the glottal is kind of how you're preparing the note on the in-breath.
In a way, yes. Yes, it's how you stop the air. And then you sing directly with the chords.
Right, I see. So that appears a lot in the kind of old school Italian teaching about how to attack the notes.
I mean, the singhiozzo, they use it. They used to say the word when it's this sob. Right. Yeah, okay. So those, because funny enough, in actual terms, if you really look at it, you'll find that the larynx relaxes, gets a new attack, fresh, and when it hits for the top, it doesn't go too high, can't. Okay. So if I go da, ga, it has to go to the bottom. And that's what bel canto preaches. When you have a top note, you have to attack with the lowest note on your voice.
Okay.
So if I do that, a lot of people mistook that by scooping.
I see. Okay.
What I ask my kids to do is to have a glissando with a very even slide and vibration. So if I go, I have to go, yeah? So I go,
okay.
In the chords, I've got every single vibration of that ta-ta-ti-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta.
Okay.
And that is another thing with the attack, when you go into that, it's a scoop.
Right.
But that happens without you hearing. Because inside my chords are used to go.
Right.
Say it kind of comes together, builds, and you have the V.
Okay.
That gets the note. But it's a lot of training in that sense.
What you're talking about, I feel like I hear it in one chap in particular who's very active at the moment, a guy called Gregory Kundi.
Oh, Gregory, he's my adorable. He's a phenomenon.
Yeah, he's incredible.
But look what he sang before. We did the Huguenots together.
Right.
And he was like a violin.
Really?
Have you ever heard him then? You
recordings.
must listen. Yeah,
I've only heard him live, well, actually twice at Covent Garden in recent years. And then I'd never heard of him. And yet I heard him doing Forza and the big one, the Verdi one, Otello. And I thought, how have I never heard of this guy? I must have been living under a rock, because he is extraordinary. So I went and listened back to his career, and I just thought,
isn't that amazing?
He's incredibly light even in his 40s.
Yeah. Well, him as well as me, we both had cancer, and we conquered that. So I think he's very religious as well. I think it's something to do, apart from the fact that he was trained as a bel canto singer, also he is an extraordinary musician.
Right.
And but apart from those things, he's very committed, and his family as well. Committed. His daughter sings as well.
Really?
Yeah. And she's very good in pop music. Fabulous.
Oh, okay.
Fabulous. And then his desire, because I remember when he was in transition, and he was very upset because he wasn't getting what he wanted. It was the same kind of work as I did.
Okay.
Because I come from Lucia de la Mermour, and I ended up with Lady Macbeth, be it first version, but even Manon Lescaut, even you work through, and you teach people to be able to conquer each stage of your career.
Mm-hmm.
But what I love about Gregory is that this preoccupation to work, to always reinvent himself. Now he's singing Sinatra.
Oh, yes.
Songs.
I haven't listened to it yet.
He's a lovely man.
Okay.
He is a lovely man, Gregory, and I adore him. He was also my special guest when I went to Bucharest, and on my birthday of 70th, when I said goodbye, I had a celebration in Bucharest Opera House, and he was very sweet, and he came and he was my special guest, and we had an amazing time, amazing. And he flew in that morning.
Really?
Came from another opera, just to because Bucharest, it's always late with casting and doing things.
Okay.
So I kept on saying, please, I need you to tell Gregory to give a contract, firm contract. And of course they came so late, he was already in another contract.
Right.
But he didn't let me down.
Oh, amazing.
That's quite...
Must be amazing to have friends like that in the business.
Yeah, not many.
Let's just go back to repertoire briefly. Yeah. So what were your main roles? If Lady Macbeth first version was at the heavier end?
No, I wouldn't call it. It's not a main... Do you know, the sopranos in the past, they sing almost everything.
Really?
Because when you are called soprano, if you have a bel canto approach, you can deal with a lot of styles. Doesn't mean that you can sing Turandot, for example. I mean, there is a common sense that you can come up with. But if you call me dramatic coloratura, do I have a signature role? No, it's bel canto.
Okay.
I sang most of the young Verdi. I sang most of the young Puccini. Again, because it's being a dramatic coloratura, you can afford to do this and this and this and that. However, my favorite was La Fiamma by Respighi, a very unknown opera. Okay. It's online, it's a video, but please read the story before.
Okay.
To me was so pleasing because Respighi he adored the German philosophers, Nietzsche and all that. And on that basis, he created a text that was very philosophical.
Okay.
So of course that pleased my youth
times. Yes.
With a text that was not just I love you, I suffer, I cry, I die.
Yeah.
It was much more than that.
Okay.
And it was a creation, and we've been blessed with wonderful producer, wonderful Hugo Dana and Gelmetti, the conductor. Everything was perfect. And then the other opera, which was in concertgebouw, in concert, was Iris and Ascania.
Right.
Now I want a little
also
bracket.
One I have to admit I don't really know.
It's rare. It's a rare opera. First, this was the last opera that Gyaurov sang, and I'm very proud to say that I met him even the last minute. We had a big fight.
Oh no!
Me and Gyaurov. Nikolai said, "There is no bel canto, Nelly." So we had such a fight.
What, just general Berganza doesn't exist?
Doesn't exist.
Okay.
No. So we went out for a drink, and it was Romanian drinks. Ooh, you don't want that.
Describe to me what Romanian drinks are.
Have you ever come across Slibovica?
No.
No. Imagine the grappa.
Uh-huh.
Add to grappa another half of that. It's 50% alcohol.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after talking and chatting and fighting and drinking at the same time, after a while he went, yeah, actually, I think I'm starting to think about bel canto in a different way.
Okay. I guess you would.
So I was delighted.
My only experience with grappa was on an Italian opera course in Italy, and it was one of the tenors, Jong Soo-young, who I think is doing very well now. It's a Korean tenor, and it was his birthday, and the hotel staff just kept on pouring us grappa.
Of course.
And we were
flat out.
We were goners.
This is what happens in Russia when we go to vodka.
Yeah.
Poor Barry, poor thing. We've been to a Georgian restaurant, and we didn't know that if you don't want to drink anymore, you have to turn the glass upside down.
Right. So
Barry being Barry, of course. So they kept looking, and Barry went, oh, how did he go to me?
Sorry, I interrupted you. You're talking about
so this iris,
yes,
again, it's similar. And I wanted to say that Mascagni was, Tosca was written for Harry Clare Darclay, who was a Romanian.
Okay.
That's another thing that I'm kind of not the happiest woman in the world, because she was at coloratura. So when Puccini wrote this Tosca, he didn't want a matron like we have in today.
Okay.
He, not only that, but referring to Tosca, it was Cimarosa who discovered this shepherdess and took her and trained her as a musician, and she became the favorite of the queen. She was 18 years old.
When she sang Tosca?
No. She existed.
I see.
The
character.
This is a character.
I see, right.
And then Puccini was madly in love with Harry Clare Darclay, and he wrote this opera, and the aria was not in the score. It was written specifically for Harry Clare.
I see.
And what I wanted to say, going back to Mascagni wanted to marry her. She was so beautiful. But, silly girl, falls in love with a baritone who is married and children.
Oh, dear.
A lot to go. It must still be with Mascagni or being whoever.
Yeah.
She was adored by those days. But going back to Mascagni, I did his Bohema as well. No, Leoncovallo's, which is a different Bohema. Where Musetta is Mimi and Mimi is Musetta. It's kind of a change of roles. But Iris and La Fiamma for me were the best everything.
Okay.
Music, text, colleagues, conductor, etc. For me, that will remain for the rest of my life.
Okay.
I was fortunate. I will always say I was fortunate to be there. Apart from all the operas that are with Opera Rara, where Patrick Schmidt, the director of the Opera Rara, he understood my vocality, and he gave me only the things that were very suitable for my voice, my temperament, my personality.
Right.
And as a result, they were very, very rewarding.
Right. That's the kind of ideal director you want, somebody who can work with you.
That's a big privilege, big privilege, because if I didn't have those recordings, I don't think people would have known very much about me.
Really? I'm not sure. I mean, there are lots of other recordings. I mean, I don't want to contradict you, but there are lots of other recordings of you out there where your singing is as good as anyone.
Oh, thank you.
Otherwise,
thank you.
No, I think there's more going for you than just those two recordings.
Oh, thank you.
Perhaps you could. Maybe I've misunderstood what a coloratura soprano is, because coloratura to me means rapid passages.
No. Coloratura is one thing.
Right.
Dramatic coloratura is different. Coloratura is, we have the lyrical coloratura, we have the pure coloratura, and the dramatic coloratura, which means you have agility, but your tessiture is lower.
I see. Okay.
You've got all the notes, but because the tessiture is lower, the voice is more comfortable. Yeah?
Okay.
So when the voice is more comfortable, the elasticity for going up, it's more available.
Right.
While if you're just a pure coloratura, middle voice is not so great, and also it's a short time life span in that. So it's better if a coloratura starts understanding what's going on and encourage the middle voice to be a little bit more connected. It's not a guarantee, it's not a necessarily a rule, but pure coloratura, even Sutherland was a dramatic coloratura.
Okay.
So she's maintained her top notes, but her middle voice was quite potent.
Okay.
And she could, Monsore Caballé, it's a specific type of the voice, Rosa Poncel, for example. It's a tradition in that kind of repertoire that can be considered as a dramatic coloratura.
I see.
It just so the coloratura, it always has to be lyrical coloratura, pure coloratura, and that is hugely higher.
Right.
Natalie Dessay is a pure coloratura.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is it's a big difference.
Yeah, it's a different voice completely. Okay. While our voices are more, sometimes we were called falcone.
Oh, I've never heard that term.
Yeah, before. It was a specific soprano. I can't remember now the name, but which Rossini wrote for those types of voices.
I see.
And I can't remember the name, so it's coming out. But yes, it's just another type of voice that has the middle quite, but the agility goes from bottom to the top.
I see. Okay.
However, agility should be trained on singers all the time.
Okay.
There is no such thing as, I don't have an agility, no chance.
I do hear a lot of people saying I can't sing Donna Anna anymore because my voice doesn't move that fast. And I quite often think, I don't know. There's a couple of people in particular who I work with who are extraordinarily good singers, but they've kind of left Mozart behind. And I just think it's a great shame, because actually I think if you went for those roles, if you not retrain, they don't need to retrain, but if you worked that agility back into your voice and went for those roles, you would stand a big chance of getting them, because they're such good singers.
I have a lot of singers who come to me and say, oh, my voice is fuller now, with age, and I'm going, very rarely that will happen. Very rarely that the voice will get fuller because of age.
Right.
It's because you drop the practice in that manner. It's because you don't practice as much as you did before. It's because you dropped your body.
Right.
Because all my life I had a trainer.
Really?
Oh God, yeah.
Okay.
Until of course I started to have problems with the body, and then I had to stop. But the trainer I hate gymnastics. Don't talk to me. But she will come at the door, or if I go somewhere in opera houses, I'll employ somebody to be at the hotel every day and train.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because because that's what gives up.
Okay.
The first thing. And of course, what happens in that process of giving up? You lose the awareness. Like for example, I have now pain. And then of course, as I've been always an explorer, I've been exploring it, and I realized that this part, just that little of my spine, it's not actually working anymore.
Oh.
It's that small. I'm not holding.
Okay.
Because I get lazy. I sit in front of the COVID. Teach online.
Certain amount of inactivity.
Even if I play the piano, I still do that, and it's still that little, just above the waist. That it's a tiny part of my spine that doesn't. And I try to do it, but then I need to try to work it out, and I'm lazy.
Okay.
Done it all my life. I don't want to.
I have one more question.
Yes.
And you've obviously had a very long career. You've seen the world change around you, various countries change around you. So you would have seen the industry change a lot. In what ways do you think it's changed? And do you think it's, this is a bit of a leading question. I don't want to make you
I have the answer already.
Is it harder? Is it easier? Kind of, what in the training of singers nowadays, given the changes you've seen, what would you like to see in their training either from individual teachers or from the great big institutions that take on singers?
Look, in my time, it was in a way, it was easier for me particularly to make a splash with the talent, of course, but we also having a door that would open easier because I was an immigrant.
Right.
And because I was coming from those Eastern countries that have had a reputation for having good artists, good singers. How it's changed the industry, it's the COVID that changed it. Because during the COVID, people learned that they can do it less.
Mm-hmm.
So the exigencies, the money also dropped. I mean, when you look at the English National Opera, it's a tragedy. And with, by the way, I sang Traviata in English there. Yeah. So it was Lord Howard at the time that he was the director. He adored me. And now also there are lots of mechanic teachers that create voices. And they create voices to such an extent that when they go up there, you can't beat them.
Okay.
And I don't want to make any nation saying this is, but they are trained to that extent. The real talent is not taught that real talent means more work.
Okay.
So it's a misconcept. If I have the talent, now the real talent, unless it's phenomenal, like for example Egul,
Who's that?
the mezzo-soprano, she came at 19 years old. She's the greatest mezzo-soprano we have in the world.
Oh, I see. I should know her then. I'll look her up. Okay.
Look it up. Anyway, she came at 19, she was seeing an audition, and she was, and sure enough, she had the training because she came from a background where they are trained like hell, communists in there. And she was humble and she's intelligent, she reads. She's a complete artist.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, as a result, at 22, 23, she was already a star.
Right.
And Yeti Barker took her. And that's what I'm saying. To be a talent like that, it's rare.
Mm-hmm.
It's really very rare. Or you have to find a way to impress the panel. That is very hard because look at the auditions, how they take place. It's humiliating. It's disrespectful. You don't even have a room to warm up.
That does happen a lot. Yeah, I got asked in this session last week, like, how do we warm up? Because we have to be there a certain amount of time before the audition.
Yeah.
But there's nowhere to warm up. Where do we go? How do we do it? It's a tough question to answer.
It is.
Yeah.
You can't because you have the pianist for 10 minutes, and of course the pianist is fed up that he has to come on the weekend or whatever, and they play with that kind of not interested, just get on with it. And if you have any kind of sfumature, they say in Italian, the tempo or rhythm, they won't be receptive to it.
Right.
And so what I try to teach my singers is to lead via the number of vibration. So if you vibrate a sound in a particular way and make a crescendo, he will know you want to move slower and the next phrase.
Oh, I see.
I appeal to instincts in a way that they don't know, but they will do it.
Okay.
So I in that way I teach, or I say, okay, let's learn it exactly metronomic, so you don't have to panic, no matter what he's doing. You can go faster or slower, it doesn't matter. You can fit in.
Okay.
So yeah, I try to give them the escape and use every possible nuance that I could, because in my career I sang with people that were very rigid, like Kent Nagano, for example. He was a despot. Absolutely, everything had to be zoom, 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 zoom. And we sang Puccini, of all places. So I sang through the whole rehearsal, all the rehearsals we had. I was exactly metronomic with him. At the dress rehearsal, I thought, let's try.
Okay.
So I tried some ritenuti in rallentando. He never said a word. So all the rest of the shows, because I know how to prepare it. I know how to give him security, that he knows that I will never be behind him. And then from that moment we started to collaborate in a manner that was very pleasing.
This is bringing back a memory. The first time I learned Elijah, I learned it, I can't remember his name, he was a very good German coach, but we were doing it in English, and he was very metronomical, and it turned out that the first time he had done Elijah, he had prepared it with Ken Nagano. So that makes perfect sense.
There you are. There you are. Yeah, because the theory is like this. No matter rallentando or ritenuto, doesn't matter. Stay first metronomic. Yeah? Understand what the composer wanted. Then, what I was trained with, if it's rallentando, just double the bar.
Okay.
So if you have 2/4, make it 4/4.
Okay.
At that point, you have all the notes a bit longer, and that will give you exactly the ritenuto you're looking for.
I see.
And yet you're not imbalancing the conductor.
Mm.
So many things. Or if I have quavers, for example, and it's fast, I kill them with subdivision. Kill them properly. Not one. No, to have subdivide. And then they feel embarrassed, and I don't care. You can't subdivide, you can't sing the quavers.
Okay.
Because then you will be so approximative.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know the system in here. They have different systems. Back in Romania, we based on 2 lines. So this is 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yes.
Then
So,
I go 1, 2, 3, and then I go 1, 2. When you have 6, you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a subdivision. So that's how we've been trained. And the 16ths are always like I always say, it's flamenco.
Right. Okay.
Go to the flamenco, and you will see the 16th. They're there.
Okay.
And don't just go. It's not. It can't be done.
Yeah.
And then when I ask them to sing, interestingly enough, they kind of change the rhythm according to what they want to sing. And I'm going, can you watch your hands? Yeah, they'll go.
I see.
They'll go. Sempre libera de Dio folleggiare.
Oh, I see. So they just
adjust their voice.
match it. Yeah.
And I'm going,
Okay.
can you do it with the hands? You're going somewhere else. Oh yes, I am.
I think I do that sometimes as well when I'm really confused.
Yeah, when you are a professional, it instinctively you know how to keep that in the good mind.
If you've done
But
the work.
youngsters,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So my 8-year-old daughter's learning the piano at the moment, and I noticed that she would count a certain amount of beats and then hold another beat on. And getting her to realise this was extraordinarily difficult. And I just remember thinking, I did exactly the same thing when I was her age learning the piano. And it at some point it all clicks together. But it's amazing how many things in music you have to concentrate on, and you get them kind of one by one. And then years later, you think, how did that all come together? These incredibly complex work.
It is.
You know, and
It is.
by the time we're in our 20s, we're just picking up these things and just doing them.
Yeah.
We've totally lost the appreciation of how difficult they are.
We lost the work. So if you don't sweat, you don't know what's worth it.
Yeah, I think it's very true. It's a lot of hard work that goes into it, but it's also the hard work which makes it really special and brings that across to the audience.
It does, but on the other hand, to be on their side, there's so little recognition of your hard work. You go to auditions and you come back deflated, and lots of people are giving up.
Yeah.
Because of that. And then I say, always have a plan B. Not because you want to admit failure, but because you want to play safe.
Well, I think it's very important to feel secure in some way. I think if you feel like you're constantly on the knife edge, about to fall off a ledge, it's not a nice feeling, and it's not conducive to you going and doing good auditions or doing a good performance. If you have something to back you up that you know you can do, it just gives you an extra feeling of confidence and security. I mean, my main full-time job now is not singing. I try and take on as much professional singing as I can, but my main job is something else. Partly for that reason, because it means I don't have to chase every little gig going. You know, it's made a big difference to the way I think about it.
I was really lucky. I think I stopped in time. I couldn't hold a career of today.
It's a difficult industry, difficult marketplace at the moment.
Just.
Having said that, if it's what you want to do, anybody watching this, absolutely go for it, because it is a wonderful thing to do. Even if you are not getting the amount of work you would ideally like to. It's still an amazing thing to be involved in.
No, I think all our conversations shouldn't be for discouraging. It shouldn't be even as a warning, just as an experience. And as I always say, put it on a shelf. And if you ever use it, if you ever want to use it. But otherwise, keep on dreaming and keep following the dreams.
Yeah,
I always say that.
Yeah.
It's important because you don't want to stop and live with the regret. I didn't try far enough.
Yes, it's very true. So I have a colleague who I work with quite a lot who has always been an amazing singer. I think is only now in her 40s really just getting going. And really good things are starting to happen.
Well, look at Joyce Di Donato.
She was quite a late.
Yeah, exactly. But even Bruzon.
Really?
His career started at 40 years old.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Gosh.
I mean, he was singing a lot before, but he said it. We were singing Traviata together, and we were both having interviews with the papers, and he said, "Well, I was very lucky because all these great baritones of my time, they didn't want to sing bel canto, and everything was bel canto. They would throw it at me, and I learned. I sang those, and that's how I learned to sing. And then I became Renato Bruzon when I was in my 40s.
Amazing.
And he still was talking about how he was living in the house, and the water was dripping from the rain. So poor he was, and even that in that respect, I can tell you lots of stories. But not everybody is immediately becoming a star. Often, just believe and trust, and you have to be good. You have to come to a point where, I mean, if everybody says it's not good enough, then think about it. Either you don't work too much enough in that respect, or you're not informed enough, or whatever. Nothing. We are not gods.
No.
It's just sharing experiences.
Yeah. Well, Nelly, thank you so much for this conversation.
You.
It's been incredibly interesting, and I've learned some amazing things that I didn't know you knew Gregory Kundi. I'm very jealous. I really want to interview him. So if you know he's coming over to the UK
if he comes to London, I'll ask him. He'll be delighted.
Yeah, I would love to have a chat.
He'll be delighted. I'll ask him when he's coming.
Okay, and also learnt about your two favourite operas that I didn't even know.
You're
about.
going back home, and you have to.
I will.
But there is the Iris. No, but I could possibly. Maybe it's online, I don't remember. Thais was also fantastic.
Thais. Okay, that's Massenet, is it? Okay.
Yeah. But the Iris, I could talk to Hannah so we can organize to send it to you.
Oh, yes, please.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Okay. Great. Oh, and thank Hannah for setting this up.
Yeah, bless her. Yeah, because me, I mean, you see how busy.
You are very busy.
I had to take the whole day off us today.
That's great. I'm gonna stop this now.
Say goodbye to everybody.
Thank you for watching, everyone.
Yeah,
and I hope we can do this at some point again. It'll be great. And I'll hopefully see you in France as well.
Thank you. Bye bye.